We're going 6 laps, and the finishing order will determine the first 5 rows of the Advanced Auto Parts A main. So really simple. You win this one, you start on the pole. You finish second, you start outside the front row, so on and so on and so on down through the field. And here's the way this one will grid. It's going to be Donnie Schatz. Boy, you put Schatz on the pole, the crane cams dash. It could be tough for the competition, Brad.
Yes, it could be very, very tough on the rest of the field.
On the outside of the front row, Rob Cheney's going to slide up there in the 24H cars. They still are making their way into position. Cheney's best finish all year in any division of sprint car racing is a 4th, so this is a great opportunity for him. In row number 2, it's Craig Kinzer and Jason Sides. Jason Sides with 3 top 5s on the year. Brooke Tatnell, last night's winner, 9 times in his career, a feature event winner with the Advanced Auto Parts World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series powered by Q. And Terry McCarl on the outside. In row number 4, it's Cody Dara and Jack Hodenschild. Row number 5, Jason Myers and Darren Pittman. Tony Bachhoven, a quick thought?
Well, guys, Craig Kinzer making news tonight. He was telling me about 10 minutes ago. He confirms, Craig Kinzer fans, he will be back in the car number 20 next year. Everything's in line. The sponsors are coming back. Bass Pro Shop's excited, and he's excited because, you know, they've been in victory lane a couple times in the last month already.
Yeah, he's had a good second half of the season as the green's in the air here on our crane cams dash. Poor start at the rear there for Darren Pittman. He was sideways, but how about Cheney giving Shots all he can handle through 1 and 2 as Darren Pittman has that problem.
Rolling to the stop. They're going to throw the caution flag as Cheney jumped the cushion there that might have saved them. Might have a complete restart here, Bobby.
Smart thing to do, correct?
Yes, because he was so far back. He had no chance in only 6 laps to gain any positions. Now he's going to restart right on the back bumper of everybody in front of him.
So that's where Darren Pittman will go. You saw him being pushed there by the Workin' Woody. The Workin' Woody, Art and Carol Melees, in their final night of action here. They're going to call it a career, turning it over to Eric Melees, their son, for the 2009 season. On board with Donnie Schatz, looking back at Craig Kinzer. And once again, we're green. We'll see if Cheney has anything for Donnie Schatz. Jason Sides dipping down low in the 7S. He's going to cut in front of Rob Cheney and pick up second position. So nice move there for Jason Sides. That's a front row starting berth.
Sure is, and Cheney couldn't really do anything with him. Looked like he tried to get back to the inside, but Sides pulled away from him down the back straightaway.
Schatz is like a rocket ship out there in front right now as you get a great look at the rest of the field, and you lost him there. He's pulling away so quickly.
Yeah, he really is. He's putting on a performance here, trying to kind of show everybody what he may have for the main event. But again, the racetrack is great shape right now, but it's going to slick up. And look at him moving around on the racetrack. He'd run the top, now he goes in on the bottom to the middle. This is all feedback to give crew chief Ricky Warner where the car is really good and maybe more importantly where it's not so good.
You see the separation already, 1 4/10 seconds. The lead for Donnie Schatz over Jason Sides. Now there's Jack Hodenschild. His car upset very quickly there as he got up over the cushion.
Okay, it looks like he's tight as he gets up on that cushion. What I mean by that, the car's pushing.
Jason Myers is coming strong there. He started in the back row. Sorry to interrupt you, Brad. He's up to 7th.
Good battle going on back here with these 3 cars.
Myers dipping down low now, using the throttle to try to get around Jack Hodenschild. Final lap, 1 to go for Donnie Schatz, your race leader, through turn 3. And off of turn number 4, it's the Armor All number 15, owned by Tony Stewart, that gets the win in the crane cams dash. Jason Sides second, then McCarl, Kinzer, Cheney, and a strong Jason Myers running up to 6 from the back row. So Myers will earn a 3rd row starting spot for your Advanced Auto Parts A main tonight, but he's going to have to start near the front because Donnie Schatz is going to be on the pole.
Man, again, you don't want to start that guy on the front very often, but again, the track can change. These guys aren't going to give up yet, but boy, that car does look fast right now.
Yes, he does, Dave Despain. Donnie Schatz going to be tough to beat from the pole tonight.
So have a look at the rest of the Outlaws. There they are, all of them behind Schatz. That's looking out the back of the number 15 car. Not only has he locked up his 3rd championship, he will start the race from his 5th pole of the season. Let's go topside to Bobby Gerald and Brad Doty.
And with that championship, Dave Despain, comes $200,000, $100,000 to the driver and $100,000 to the car owner, Tony Stewart Racing. But right now, it is time to hear from Johnny Gibson, who's going to whip this crowd into a frenzy.
Charlotte, North Carolina, you wanted the best, you got them for a breast. Often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the Advanced Auto Parts World of Outlaws.
They have come from all across the United States, some 46, 48 states represented here this weekend, Brad. 6 different countries, and they are ready to watch the Vault World Finals finale here. The sprint cars going 30 laps at the dirt track at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Donnie Schatz is going to be your pole sitter, and let's take you to the super clean start of the race as we set the field here 24 deep, ready to go for 30 laps of action on this 0.4 mile raceway. Donnie Schatz and Jason Sides from the front row. In row number 2, it'll be Terry McCarl and Craig Kinzer. Now, McCarl is tied for 8th place in the point standings with Chad Kemenaugh, so we'll keep an eye on that subplot here during this one, Brad. In row number 3, it's Rob Cheney in the 24H alongside Jason Myers. We told you it's a career year for Myers. He led the series in quick times, top 5s, and laps led, and he was strong in the Crane Cam's dash. As you dial back through the rest of the field to check out the starting grid, we'll focus in on the number 21 car of Darren Pittman, and something maybe you might find in People magazine. Brad, you want to break this one?
Little congratulations to he and his wife Mandy, expecting a baby coming in April.
So there you go. That's good for Darren and Mandy. Darren's going to be a father for the first time in April. Congratulations to them. Now let's talk 8K. There he is, Chad Kemenaugh. He was second here at a race in 2006. As we mentioned, tied for 8th in points with Terry McCarl. He's starting a long way back here in the 12th position while McCarl is starting 3rd. But that's been a good story all year long. Kemenaugh chasing around the country with his nephew, AJ.
Just his young crew chief and nephew, AJ Havens, crewing on that thing, and maybe have a good run to get up to the front tonight.
To Tony Bachhoven.
Well, guys, Jason Sides outside the front row. The only thing he owns on that race car are the wings and the tank. The engine, the chassis, the seat, the wheels, the tires, the shocks, they all belong to Steve Kinzer. Then, Kerry Madsen in the 55. He transferred out of the B. He's got a new front end into that car. Upstairs, guys.
Kerry Madsen was the winner of your last chance showdown. Mike Paris, the Advanced Auto Parts Director of Motorsports Marketing, puts the green in the air. And here we go for 30 laps at the dirt track at Lowe's Motor Speedway, and down front back straightaway it is Donnie Schatz who gets the jump. Sides staying right with him though.
Boy, Sides really good run there, but he lost his momentum, stuck in the black part of the racetrack as they come out of turn 4.
Oh, problem for Joey Saldana in car number 9.
Boy, he's had a terrible weekend, hasn't he, Bobby? Everything that can go wrong seems to have gone wrong from the time they unloaded that car and qualified on Thursday night.
The dirt track, Lowe's Motor Speedway, Donnie Schatz leading the way. Let's give a little shout out too to Ricky Warner, Shane Bowers, and Kyle Sunby, the crew guys that have stuck it out all year. Bill Klingbeil also doing PR as well as spinning wrenches every once in a while, or at least scraping mud.
It definitely takes a team at this level.
Danny Schatz, of course, Donnie's dad, former racer, also very involved in that team. And there is Jason Sides ahead of Craig Kinzer down the back straightaway. That is a battle for 2nd position. And there's Donnie Schatz out in front in the armor all number 15.
Somebody wonder, well, does Craig Kinzer keep in mind that dad's race cars? We got a car upside down in turn 4.
Big trouble in turn number 4. One of them on its side. There's Cody Dara is in car number 89. He's involved. And possibly Mark Smith in the 7M on his side. I believe that is Mark Smith.
Welcome back to the Vault World Challenge in the pit area of Joey Saldana. And Joey, this is not how you wanted to start your World Challenge off. A drive shaft, and that's not quite how you guys put it in the car.
Nah, we've had some issues this year with our race team. We've just blown a lot of tires and broke a lot of pieces, and that's the way our year should end on a DNF, because that's pretty much what we've been doing all year. So hopefully we can just regroup and come back next year and be a lot stronger. We definitely pride ourselves on no DNFs, and this year we definitely made up for the last 2 years.
Let's go back upstairs to Brad and Bobby.
Thank you, Tony. And just to amplify what Joey was saying there, I've spoken with Joey before. He has so much respect for Steve Kinzer, because one thing Steve has been able to do in his 20-time championship career is finish races. You hardly ever see Steve fall out of races, and Joey's tried to pattern himself after Steve Kinzer.
Yeah, especially at this level, you're not going to win championships or win a lot of races if you keep falling out.
There's your Fusion in-car shot, looking out the back of Donnie Schatz, your race leader. He looks back at Jason Sides. Last time around, it was a ½ a second lead. And we'll see if he stretches it out here a little bit as they flash by the start line. Yes, he does. Almost 1 second now is the advantage for Donnie Schatz in the armor all number 15. Earlier, we told you he clinched his 3rd straight championship last night here at the dirt track at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Good battle for 6 going on right here. Jack Hodenshield, Rob Cheney, and Darren Pittman.
Boy, and Cheney squeezed by the outside of 21 of Darren Pittman. Didn't look like there was room, but he did make it happen.
Hodenschild hammer down the back straightaway. And now Pittman going to take a look at Cheney. There's a big slider.
Boy, the racetrack is wide and very smooth as well.
That was nicely done by Darren Pittman. He's really rolling around the racetrack nicely right now in the 21 car. Pittman is in 7th. Brad, talk a little bit about the track conditions. It's wide and very near the wall all the way around this place.
As I just mentioned, it is very smooth and very wide. You can see, guys, Pittman goes in on the bottom, slides up across the top. Right now, a lot of guys ripping the lip, as they say, running the cushion. There's Hodenschild. He likes to lean on stuff. He has either.
Why is his rear end all covered up with oil? The R19 is the tail tank. You can hardly see it.
Yep.
On the other side. Watch as it comes around, and now he's got a problem, and the caution flag's going to come out. But we noticed that.
Yeah, that's either oil or rear end grease all over the back of that, and then the dust and the dirt sticks to that, and it looks like it finally maybe it bit that team as he rolls to a stop.
Now we get set to get back to action. 7 laps in the book here in this 30-lapper. Donnie Schatz lining up as your race leader with Jason Sides right behind him. Good restart for Sides. He was able to stay relatively close.
And if Schatz can't hold him off, again, 18th win of the season he's trying to go for now. He had, I believe, 19 last year, 17 year before, so.
Craig Kinzer coming after Jason Sides. A battle for second. The 20 car sticking in the middle nicely.
Right in the middle of the racetrack. Let's see if we can do down here.
You know, I think there's no coincidence that when Mike Cool came on about midway through the season to help out with that 20 car, that's when Craig started to get a little bit more comfortable. I'm sure it also had to do with him getting more laps in the car, but Mike Cool is a top gun as a wrench out here.
Well, and they were very successful together back in the 11K car when they were together, so mentally it might have had a lot to do with it too, but just, as you said, Craig Kinzer just getting laps back in a sprint car again is helping. And again, 2 wins late in the season here.
Danny Lasowski pulled into the infield. He's off the pace in the Gymnase car. Here is Steve Kinzer in car number 11, the 20-time champion, driving by Terry McCarl. And Terry McCarl backsliding a little bit right now as McCarl is in 7th position. Chad Kemenaugh is in 11th right now. And Kinzer, of course, the winner of the Vault World Finals from 2007.
Started 14th and passing some cars now. They're a little bit strung out, so a guy like Steve trying to work up through there, he needs timed caution. So when he's clear of people, nobody in front of him, they get a caution, keep the field bunch back up. Obviously, that gives him a better chance to get to the front.
It was good to see the King, Steve Kinzer, in a really good mood earlier today, joking around. He showed up, he was a little tardy to the driver's meeting, wasn't he?
Yeah, nobody was there when he got there.
Driver's meeting was ending, and he said, did I miss the driver's meeting again? Can you tell us what happened there?
And I teased him, and Steve, this your first race or what?
We were telling him all kinds of stuff. They changed the format. We were going to change how the cars work. Steve wasn't buying it. Here's traffic for your leader, Donnie Schatz, pulling up now on the tail enders. His view, a little smoke in front of him there, Brad. You don't want to be following that guy.
Boy, no kidding. He tried to split. He does go by the 1 car there, but boy, you have to be careful. Not only we talked about that last night, getting oil on your shield and the tear-offs, but if somebody blows up in front of you, you got to make sure you give yourself enough room to get around them.
Donnie Schatz with a big lead right now. It's over 2 seconds already as he continues to just pour it on this field. Now trying to put Greg Hodnett down a lap. Got hung out a little bit there in turn number 2.
And you can see it actually backed up across the racetrack. That's wheel spin. As a driver, you got to ease off the throttle pedal, try to get the tires hooked.
Oh, is he going to do it? He's going to split cars. We've seen him do it several times this season. Donnie Schatz, as you said, I mean, he's got the championship wrapped up, going for race wins, and that was a daring move.
Well, it's the championship's wrapped up. This is all about win and pride and everything, but make a move, people might question, he's so far out front. Why would he take that chance? He may not know how far out front he is.
19 laps complete. We've got big trouble over in turn at number 3 and 4. Tim Schaefer got a late piece of the action. There's a car stopped over there, and that is Rob Cheney upside down. He's very lucky that Tim Schaefer came skimming by and just took the top wing off the car, because that could have been disastrous.
Just a few more inches closer, yes, that could have been very disastrous. It looked like it just cleaned the wing off.
And Cheney out of the race car, it looks like. Schaefer, Tim Schaefer walking away. That is Tim Schaefer right there.
Yeah, going back to check on check on Rob Cheney to make sure he's okay.
Tim spent a lot of time in the Ohio area, even though he's a Western Pennsylvania driver. And Tony Bachhoven. You can add to this story?
Well, guys, that's Kerry Madsen coming back across the track, who caught just a little bit of it there at the end as they get ready to roll the car back over. Kerry coming down to make sure everything is okay here. I'll have more for you in just a second. On Jack Hodenschild, another rear end, victim of a rear end failure.
So it was Kerry Madsen, excuse us there. We called it Tim Schaefer. It was Kerry Madsen who squeezed by and I believe took the top wing off of that machine. We'll get it all sorted out. That's Rob Chaney laying there, and that is Kerry Madsen who came by and took the top wing right off of that car.
It's impossible to turn left. He probably saw it coming. It was probably slow motion to him. There was nothing he could do about it to avoid it.
There is Rob Chaney out of the car, walking away. Donnie Schatz is the leader of the race. Jason Sides running second. Craig Kinzer third. Jason Myers fourth. Garen Pittman started 10th, and he is up to 5th, so he's doing a good job. Steve Kinzer is just behind him, running 6th. He started 14th, so guys running 5th and 6th right now. Maybe the guys to watch, Pittman and Steve Kinzer, Brad, as we go back to green for the final 11 laps.
One thing about the guys starting in the back, they have an advantage. They can move all over the racetrack. They have nothing to lose. The guys up front, like Schatz, sometimes you can get stuck in a groove and not know what's happening behind you. Guys will sneak up on you.
Craig Kinzer steals second away from Jason Sides, and Myers takes third from Sides. So Sides shuffled back to the 4th position.
Got to wonder about his tire choice. If the tires cooled off or what happened there, he had a really good run before this caution flag came out. Boy, he really backed up when they went back to green.
Myers moving the wing back on that number 14 car, Brad. What does that do when you move the wing back?
Puts more the aerodynamics over this top wing. It puts more transfer to the rear tires. And as you said, you can see it back. You can physically see it backing up. The drivers have a valve inside the car. They can pull a lever and move that wing back, and it makes a tremendous difference on how much forward bite you get.
Myers really ripping the lip up there in turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. He flies after Craig Kinzer, trying the bottom down it.
Probably some people might say, well, why don't you just pull it back and have it back all the way if you need all that? Because if you get it back too far, the car wants to wheelie or wants to push, meaning the front end wants to drive toward the wall. So it's a fine line of getting it back to where you have a good drive, but not getting too much drive where you're pushing the front end.
The Can-Am shows you that Donnie Schatz is in front now by 1.3 seconds. A battle for 5th. Brooke Tatnall and Steve Kinzer going out. It's actually a battle for 6th. Sides is running 5th in the 7 car. Tatnall trying to get up there in that mix, and now Steve Kinzer way down low going after Jason Sides.
And it looks to me like Steve Kinzer's car, I don't know if he's getting faster, other cars are starting to just to slow, but boy, that car's working pretty much there. He lost a little ground there. We've seen other cars do that, Bobby, in turns 1 and 2. If they get stuck in the middle, they're loose coming up off that corner.
Sides continuing to hold down the position. He's 5th, Steve Kinzer 6th. Brooke Tatnall, last night's winner, running right behind him in 7th. Donnie Schatz out in front by 1.6 seconds. Here's the laps tick away. We're down to 3 laps to go here in the Vault World Finals as Schatz goes after win number 18 on the year in this series.
And his Tony Stewart teammate, Craig Kinzer, running in 2nd. They ran 1-2 earlier this year, or just a month or so ago.
That'd be a great way to carry some momentum there, huh? Boy, you ride with him right on the cushion now as he comes up into traffic. Donnie Schatz.
Of course, we know he's locked in, staying with Tony Stewart, and heard Tony Bachhoven say that Craig Kinzer admitted he's back, or says he's back, and 1 lap to go here. White flag is out.
White flag is out. It appears that Donnie Schatz is looking good. He has a big lead over Craig Kinzer down the back straightaway. Doesn't really need to force the issue with the lap cars. Puts it right up there on the cushion, and Donnie Schatz, your champion, will win the Vault World Finals. Craig Kinzer finishes 2nd. It's a 1-2 sweep for Tony Stewart Racing. Jason Myers comes home 3rd. Darren Pittman from 10th to 4th. Jason Sides 5th. Steve Kinzer from 14th to 6th. Then Tatnall, McCarl, Cody Dara, and Ed Lynch Jr. Good run for a couple of the Pennsylvania guys there to sneak into the top 10. What can you say about Donnie Schatz that we haven't said all night long?
Or all year long, actually.
Yeah, really, huh?
This guy seemed like the TV cameras were always talking about Donnie Schatz, and rightfully so. 3rd consecutive championship. See him pulling through the pit gate on the back straightaway. Now he's got to make weight at the scales. If he passes that, he'll be the winner tonight.
In World of Outlaws competition, there's the wave to the crowd. That was just a couple of moments ago. Now let's go to Tony Bachhoven with the winner.
Well, 18 times you've been to victory lane. You're a 3-time Advanced Auto Parts World of Outlaw champion. Congratulations, Donnie Schatz.
This is great. This is definitely how we want to win the year, or end the year, I guess. You know, we come in here the other night a little bit nervous. Obviously, we weren't real focused on the championship, just trying to win here this weekend, and we couldn't get the motors going. And my guys did so much change into this thing, and we learned so much in the last 2 days that the last 2 nights we've just been able to fine-tune this race car. And it's back to the old race car that I had, so it's one awesome piece to drive.
Tell us briefly about your season. You have been so dominant all summer long.
Well, we didn't really start off the way we wanted, but you know, we got our pace going. Once we get going, it just seems like we keep it going. And then these guys, this whole Armor All crew, they're what does this. I mean, I'm probably the luckiest guy on earth to sit in that seat and drive that thing, because I think there's a lot of guys that could probably do a little better, but they're not here. So we're just glad to be in this position.
Congratulations. When you wake up in the morning, you're a 3-time champion.
Well, that's an awesome feeling. I mean, I want to thank everybody for coming out. This event's always been pretty awesome. I'm just glad to be the guy standing at the top of the podium at the end of the night.
Donnie Schatz is a lucky man.